Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome back to the Operation Heal 100 Heart channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. I know why you're here with your nosy ass. Don't pump fake or hummus none. You want to get in these people's business just like I do. So let's get into this new Dear DJ letter. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Hit the thumbs up on this video and let me know you support my channel for free because I really appreciate that. Let's get into it. Dear Deidre, I started working for a city agency right before the pandemic hit. It was sweet at that time for me since I was working from home getting paid a good chunk of money. My department has been back in the office for 2 years now, and upon return, a new supervisor was appointed to us. I hated this uppity bitch from the moment she walked in the door. She has a habit of turning up her face at people, talking down to people, scrutinizing people about how they do their job. A nigga like me usually likes chicks like this because I like to break down that fake hard exterior and show her in the world that I'm that nigga. But it's something about this bitch I can't stand. But I do my job and I keep my head down. Last week in supervision, she had the audacity to tell me that she knows I'm used to working my way around ladies, but this is not speed dating, it's work, and I need to remember that. Ooh, child. As a man, I resisted the urge to tell this bitch to suck my dick. I kept my cool and continued with the meeting. Anyway, a few weeks later, my goddaughter graduated from Temple and I went out to Philly to support. The fam and I decided to get a room and stay for a few days. While we were there, we decided to go to Club Risque, a strip joint. Okay. I'm there taking it all in and enjoying the show. And when I look up on that stage, who do I see? My stripper ass supervisor. I thought the Don Julio was playing tricks on me. So I started making my way closer to the stage because if this is this bitch, I'm going to get a picture as proof and if I need it as leverage. Excuse me. It was that bitch because when she spotted me, she skedaddled off that stage so fucking fast it made no sense. Deidre, it's been 4 months and she won't even directly address me. But last week I was mysteriously transferred to another department because of insubordination. Who the fuck was I insubordinate with? I have a feeling she's behind this, and if so, a nigga's ready to get his lick back. How do you think I should handle this situation? Let me know what you think. Sign, it ain't my fault. You got caught. Take a look at my little drink. Woo chow. All right. Huh. First of all, hey, supervisor girl. That's what I'm talking about. Multiple streams of income. Got it. Oh my God, that's crazy. That is crazy. But you know, it's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched. It sounds like you're a New Yorker, right? And it's very expensive to live in New York City. So my homegirl probably said, listen, I ought to make me some extra funds and ones, and I know where to make them at. And I like them. I like her because she said, listen, you won't catch me in none of these New York spots. Let me head on out to Philly and get it together. Yes, sis. Get it together out in Philly. Yes. Okay. First of all, number one on the list is that this is work. Right. So you getting your lick back is more like a personal street kind of hood kind of thing, right? This is work. This is work. So you want to make sure you maintain some professionalism, and exposing her as a stripper, I don't know if that's maintaining professionalism, right? And granted, her having her ass on a pole isn't maintaining it either, but she's not doing it there at the city agency, right? So it is what it is. I think number one on the list is that you should definitely investigate your transfer. Because I know for me, I don't have an issue with moving because when you work for people, you know, they can just pull any stunt that they want. So I don't have an issue with moving, but I need to know why. And when you share with me why, it needs to be supported by facts. So if you're going to come to me and tell me that you're transferring me to a new department because I was insubordinate, as you said, with who? When? And where's the proof? Because I imagine it would be a conversation, you would be written up, you know, some things of that nature. So if this actually took place, what you guys are accusing me of, you have to let me know when because I have no recollection. And according to you, it sounds like you and her don't really have much dialogue because you said she won't directly address you. But if we were in a healing heart session, I would have to ask, what are you doing to her? Because you did say that she won't directly address you, but I would have to be transparent in asking, are you taunting her? Because it sounds like a little bit you was hype that you got something on her because like you said, she was being a piece of work all this time since y'all been working together. So it felt good to know that, bitch, you think you could be a piece of work, I can be a piece of work too. I get it, but I also get that this is work. So my question would be to you, were you saying and doing anything that she could what is the word I'm looking for? That she could feel, that wasn't the word I was looking for though, as though you were being insubordinate. And the reason why I think you might be on the right path about her being the person that gave this that put this up for folks to review is because she's a supervisor. So I'm guessing that she is the person who would be saying this, number one. And then number two, I also feel like it might have some truth that it was her because you said she won't directly address you. So maybe she had someone else do so, right? But either way, I would still be asking. Let's just play devil's advocate and say, yeah, she is the person. What could she say that you were doing that would get folks to miraculously believe it and remove you? So I definitely will be asking, what were you saying to her? Because I know she has not been directly addressing you, but what have you been saying to her since that time? Right? And sometimes folks can get petty and start pulling stunts. And while I do understand what you're saying about, having her between a rock and a hard place, this is work. And she's your supervisor. So trying to have her anywhere absolutely doesn't make any sense unless it's something professional. And technically, from the things that you shared, you don't want to address those things because they may not be deemed as professional. They may just be your personal feelings. But if she is doing something unprofessional, then yes, you can report it. You can request that something be done about it. But until that time, you can't continue to be unprofessional if that's what was taking place, right? So my thing is, you need to figure out, I'm being transferred because I'm being insecure. To who? Shouldn't there be a paper trail? Shouldn't I know who directly made this accusation against me? And also, what did they say I did? Because that's another thing. If I want to rectify these behaviors in the future so they don't continue, I need to be able to at least identify what I've done. And I'm unaware unless you are aware and you just didn't say that in the letter. I know sometimes at work, people can do these really passive aggressive, antagonizing things and then try to keep in mind that, oh, this is work. So in case you decide to get out of character, you can now regurgitate back to me, oh, this is work. You should have also kept in mind that this is work when you were antagonizing and sometimes borderline bullying that person. And I've seen it. I've seen it a number of times. Where in professional settings, people will be low-key unprofessional. And then when you're high-key unprofessional in return, they want to remind you that this is work. Yes, remind your fucking self. You don't need to remind me, remind yourself. Because had you not did what you did, then you would not receive the response you got. And what it sounds like, and I could be wrong, my dear, but I'm going to tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like when you got back to the office and seen her, you started with the antics. And she didn't want to say anything to you about them because they probably weren't direct to her. They weren't directly done to her. And also because she didn't want you to make it even more hot after she addressed it, which is why she didn't directly address you in the last 4 months. She just allowed you to continue pulling antics until she was able to say, hey, I need him transferred up out of here. And I would be asking, what did you do? Because it's one thing to tell a supervisor or a department head or anything, I need a person gone. it's another thing to actually remove that person. There has to be proof of a reason why that person would be being removed. So she would need to present something that would persuade them to actually do it. And they did it. They did it. So I would have to ask, what were you doing in the last 4 months? You know, what were you saying? What was your body language? What was your facial expressions? Because if it was all cool and it was all good and she made up you were doing some things, then hey, y'all could duke it out. Y'all can duke it out. But to have been pulling nonverbal antics and things that, you know, can be viewed as antagonizing / borderline bullying, then yeah, she can definitely report that. So once again, that would be, what were you doing? What were you doing? And in the Healing Heart session, I would say, just tell me the truth. Because eventually, what I know about folks with that type of personality, it shows up everywhere. So even if you wouldn't tell me in the Healing Heart session what you were doing that could have made her feel that way, you would start to do it in my presence. That would let me know. And the reason why I also felt like that is because the personality style through the letter. You know, I might need it as leverage. This is work. Unless I'm out here showing your dick pics, what do you need to show my strip club pictures for? If I'm doing something to you professionally that you don't like, report it. Report that I'm being unprofessional. But to think that because you don't like a person's attitude, you're going to taunt them about something that you know about them that is unflattering is unprofessional. And she was just sharp enough to catch it, clock it, and get your ass removed. City Girls Up 1000. She got you with that one. You know? And really and truly, because Operation Heal 100 Heart sessions are geared towards the individual in the session, and Dear Deidre letters are geared toward the person writing the letter, I would be addressing you and your behaviors because that was immature. That was immature. You know, it's immature and it's unprofessional. And when you're at work, if nothing else, you want to try to be the opposite of those two things. Some of us work at jobs, me being one of them, that you know you can sometimes overstep your bounds, right? So sometimes with my coworkers, like I can say a curse and not feel like I'm going to be terminated, right? Because we have that relationship. But that's only because of the relationship that we have. If you put me in front of another colleague where we don't have that personal relationship, then I'm going to do my best, if nothing else, to be mature, respectful, and professional. And when I feel myself not able to do so in a setting that requires that, then I need to remove myself. Bro, she got you removed. City Girls Up 2000. So I would definitely need to know, what were you doing? And if, right, in all fairness to you, Deidre, I ain't do shit to this bitch. I don't even know her like that. I just was chilling. I ain't even bring this shit up. I ain't taunt her. I ain't look at her. I ain't wink. I ain't laugh. I ain't giggle. I ain't play no strip club music. All I want for my birthday is a big booty. Like, I ain't do none of that. She just crazy. She paranoid. Okay, that may very well be true, right? Which is why you would have to investigate the allegation. You would have to investigate the allegation. And in doing so, everything got to come out. Because it's not fair for you to say, I'm being transferred because an allegation was made against me when there's no proof as to if the allegation is true. So that would be the next thing. You need to roll out the proof that would suggest that what they're saying I did, I actually did. And if it's all in her head, she thinking about it over and over again, then you will be able to prove that. Listen, she's a nut. And I don't think that it's fair that I have to work under somebody who has a very vivid imagination to think that I'm doing things and saying things that I'm not. And the reason why I'm saying so is because she has no proof, right? So that's in that situation. But if you know your ass was over there playing strip club music and talk about the Players Club and all this type of stuff to that girl, and acting like you don't know why her head is flying off, then you played yourself. And again, she did the most professional thing. She ignored you and she went around you. And guess what ultimately happened? She got your ass removed. City Girls up 3,000. Come on. And in all fairness to her, if these things were taking place, she did the right thing. And in all fairness to you, if they weren't, then you need to investigate. My thing is that, right? So they came to tell you all of this without any proof. So like it was just like, okay, hey, we're gonna need to move you to unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, I know when you work for people, they can tell you anything. But telling you anything would have been, we don't have any funding in this unit for your position, so we move you to a part of a department in the agency that does. See that right there? That's telling you anything, right? If it's not true, but it doesn't tie or connect you to anything that would get you in trouble or you could be penalized about, which is what the real issue is here. I don't want to be told I'm moving to a unit because I was being insubordinate and that be the stain on my record. Hell no. So it would have been one thing if they'd have just told you, listen, we doing some company shifts and it's what we want to do. No, you said that they said to you, no, you're being removed because you were insubordinate. With who? But the reason that but why I think that you didn't dig deep and why I think that you may have had some behaviors that contributed to her feeling that way is because instead of you saying like, no, they're going to have to give me some proof, you said, no, I want to get my lick back. I'm sorry, were y'all fucking? Like, what is the lick back part? No, we're not licking back at work. What we are doing is getting treated fairly and professionally. And if something was done to you unprofessional and an accusation was made against you that's false, then we can address that professionally. This is not a lick back. You're only licking back with the bitch you fucking. Like, come on. So I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of this letter for me suggests that there may be some signs of immaturity on your part. Once again, I'm not saying there's not those same traits or even worse ones in your supervisor. Not at all. But she's not the letter writer. I'm speaking to you about you in reference to you. So I'm going to say this. I think that there's a tad bit of immaturity here. And if you and I were in a Healing Heart session, we would be getting to the bottom of what that comes from. Because however old you are, you have to be acting as such in professional settings and personal settings and so on and so forth. You're not a kid. This is not the streets. There's a certain level of professionalism that must be maintained no matter what you know about a person or what goes on in their personal life that you may be aware of. And if you are truly being singled out for no apparent reason, then the man in you and the mature man in you needs to address this in the most professional way. I will not stand by and allow you guys to put a stain on my miraculous record that says that I was insubordinate, so much so to a point that it requires a transfer. You guys are going to have to prove to me when I did that and to who, because you actually still have no proof that it was her. And if they cannot do so, you continue fighting. As you should. Talk to your union. All of those things can be done professionally. But if you was in there being lick back Larry and playing yourself with this girl and she didn't flip the script on you and showed you how she could get you up out of there like yesterday, then that's on you, blood. And City Girls up 4,000. Like I said, I would be telling you in a Healing Heart session, grow the fuck up. Okay, but again, we don't know, right? So listen. Before you become Lickback Lawrence, right? What I'm going to need you to do is come in for your session. Come in for your session because this is your job. This is your job, okay? And you do not want to jeopardize your job because you are immature, right? So if you need me to assist you in growing the fuck up, come in for your Healing Heart session, sweetie. Come on in and let's flush this out and work this through so I can really, really help you get down to the bottom of, is this something that you need to hold on to, or is this something that you need to let the fuck go? All right, but that's totally up to you. In any event, I hope to see you soon because I want more deeds. I want more deeds. I want more deeds. And I want you to come for your Healing Heart session because I would love to do an assessment and see, if there's some areas that you may have missed or some things that you just don't know or something that you omitted from the story so it could work in your favor. But I need you to do all of that before you become Lick Back Lakeem, okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I love, 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 and appreciate you all. Please hit the thumbs up on this video and stay tuned for more Dear Deidre letters. Enjoy your day.